Today I'm going to show you how I make a keto version of one of my favorite Italian dishes. I'm going to make a keto lasagna. Rather than using pasta noodles, I'm making keto lasagna noodles using zucchini. I'm going to show you how I prep the zucchini noodles and get all the moisture out so that the lasagna isn't soggy at all. The lasagna has layers of Italian sausage and marinara sauce, and I'm using two different kinds of cheeses. I'm using a spinach ricotta, which is going to give it that great velvety cheesy layer, and then also shredded mozzarella, which is going to give it that great stringy chewy layer. It's everything you love about lasagna with all the flavors, but way less carbs. Let's get cooking. We're gonna start off by making the zucchini lasagna noodles. We planted 5 zucchini plants in our garden this spring, so we have so much zucchini that we're picking every day. This is my favorite way to use it up. So I'm gonna trim off the ends. Now that I have the zucchini ends trimmed off, I'm going to use my mandolin to cut them into lasagna noodles. I have this cut-proof glove that I love to use when I'm using a mandolin so that I never have to worry about cutting my fingers when I'm using it because I always go so fast. So I have my mandolin set to 1/4 inch thickness, and now I'll just hold the zucchini on both ends and then you just push it through, and you want to use pressure when you're pushing on the mandolin so it gives it an even cut. Now they're all sliced, and you can see I'm left with the perfect little zucchini lasagna noodle. By putting them all on this rimmed baking sheet and then roasting them in the oven, it's going to do 2 things. It's going to draw out and evaporate a lot of the water that's in the zucchini noodles so that the lasagna isn't soggy. And it's also going to par cook them so they're really tender and perfect for the lasagna, just like an al dente regular noodle. So now it's kind of like a puzzle, trying to get as many as you can fit on the rimmed baking sheet. Okay, I have all the zucchini noodles laid out on the rimmed baking sheet. So now the last thing to do is just to give these a sprinkle of kosher salt, which will season them and then also help to pull out moisture from them as they are slow roasting. Now that these are all salted, they are ready to go in the oven. While the lasagna noodles are cooking, I'm going to make the spinach ricotta cheese filling. So first I have 2 16-ounce containers of organic pasture-raised ricotta cheese. So I'm gonna add both of these containers into the mixing bowl. Next I'm gonna add in, I had a bag of organic frozen spinach that I thawed, and then I squeezed out all of the moisture using this nut milk bag. So you can see here it's just almost like a pulp, it's really dry. So I'll add this in. This is already pre-chopped spinach, which I prefer because it'll be smaller pieces. Next I'm adding in 1 large egg, which will help bind this ricotta cheese and keep it really firm. And last, a teaspoon of black pepper and kosher salt. I'll go in here with my fork and mix this all together. I love this spinach and the ricotta cheese. This is how my mom made it for us when we were growing up. It's such a great way to sneak in vegetables, and I love the flavor of it, and it looks really pretty when you eat it. The last thing I have to prep is the Italian sausage, the meat layer. So here in this pan, I already have some olive oil, yellow onion, and salt, and I'm getting the onions nice and soft. To that, I'm gonna add in some sweet Italian sausage. I got some links. I'm using about 1 1/4 pounds. So what I do is I'll just slice open the casing, and then I'll squeeze out the sausage meat right into the pan. Now I like to go in with a potato masher. It helps me to really break up the meat, get it all mixed in with the onion, and then I will cook this until the sausage is cooked through and golden brown. The sausage is all cooked through, so now I'm gonna set this aside, and my zucchini noodles should be all done. Okay, the zucchini noodles are all done. You can see here they're nice and dried out. It took about 35 minutes in the oven. You can see how now they're really nice and tender, and there's no moisture in them. Okay, I have all the components here ready to assemble. So I'm using just store-bought marinara sauce. My favorite one is by Rouse. It has such a good, clean ingredient list. I couldn't make it tastier if I made it homemade, so I might as well just buy store-bought. So the way we're gonna layer it is first you're gonna do a layer of the tomato sauce on the bottom. This will prevent it from sticking. On top of this, we'll do a layer of the zucchini noodles. On top of the zucchini, we'll do a layer of the sausage mixture. Now I'll dollop on the ricotta and spinach mixture. And then I like to just kind of smooth it a little bit with my spoon. It doesn't have to look perfect. That's the great thing about a lasagna. All the layers just all melt into each other. Rustic is perfect for a recipe like this. On top of the ricotta, I'm gonna do a sprinkle of some organic grass-fed mozzarella. This is gonna give you that really good melty cheese. And then now we'll repeat. So now I'll start again with a layer of the tomato sauce. Then more zucchini noodles. Sometimes the zucchini noodles stick a little bit to the rack as you're trying to peel them off and they'll tear a little bit. Totally fine. It's all gonna taste the same when you cut into it. Next is the sausage layer, then ricotta, then a layer of mozzarella, and tomato sauce. Now the last layer of the zucchini noodles, the last layer of sausage, the last of the ricotta, do a little layer of mozzarella cheese, and then the last of the tomato sauce. Finally, the last layer of shredded mozzarella that's gonna give it that really good bubbly golden brown top. Okay, the lasagna is all assembled. Now here's all the ways you can prepare it. You can cook it uncovered in the oven until it's heated through. Or if you're making this ahead of time, like if you're having company over, you can make this and then just cover it and refrigerate it for up to 3 days. And then right before your company comes, you can pop it in the oven and cook it through. Or you could stick this right in the freezer, assembled like this, and then you'll have a meal for a day when you didn't cook anything else. Sometimes when I'm making this, I'll make 2 at the same time since I'm already going to all the effort to make the lasagna, and I'll cook 1 for dinner and then I'll freeze 1 for the future. Or the other thing I like to do is, you can see this is a huge lasagna and I just have a family of 4. So I'm cooking this huge one, and then after it's done, I'll put it in meal prep containers so we'll have lunches for the week, or I'll freeze them in the meal prep containers and have little individual portion sizes, which are so great when we just want to grab a fast meal to heat up in the microwave. So we're gonna be eating this for dinner tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop it uncovered into my 400-degree oven and cook it until it's warm through, probably like 40-45 minutes. Here it is, warm out of the oven. It smells so good. So you know it's done when it's nice and bubbly all around the edges and the cheese has the good caramelized brown parts. Oh, it's perfect. Now that it's cooled, I like to top it with some fresh basil from my garden. It's gonna give it really good flavor, like fresh herbs, but it also makes it really pretty on top. Now that it's cooled, you're gonna go ahead and slice into it. Make sure you make it all the way to the bottom to cut through all the layers of the zucchini noodles, and then lift it up. Oh, it looks so good. Now, the best part, it's time to take a bite. I love cutting into all these amazing layers, and enjoy. Those zucchini lasagna noodles, you cannot tell that those aren't real lasagna noodles. They get really tender and al dente with just a little bit of bite, just like a regular lasagna noodle. You're not missing any flavor in this keto version. Better have one more bite. It's so good. One last tip I want to share. One of the best things about lasagna is you always have tons of leftovers. It's the best part. So I like to store my leftovers, the individual cut portions, in these glass 2-cup meal prep containers. So if I know that we're gonna eat them for lunches for the week, I'll just pack them all up here. They're good in the fridge for 5 days, and I'll just microwave them when I'm ready to reheat them. Or better yet, I will freeze these individual portions. I'll put the lid on, and I'll just pop this in the freezer. I'll label what it is and the date. So then if there's ever a crazy day where I don't have anything to eat, I can just pull this out of the freezer. It's good in the freezer for 6 months. And then I'll just microwave it till it's warm and it's like meals ready to go. You can head to my website, tastelovely.com, for a printable version of this recipe with all the measurements. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss one of my clean keto recipes.